Hello, my name's Martin Crew, and today we'll be learning from Fred Gallagher and Mark van der Wiel about VectorWise for Windows.
This is an unserved market. Windows really serves medium-sized companies, and we define that as companies that have about $100 million in revenue and above. And if you look at the products that these companies are buying in BI and data warehousing, they're typically either very limited in terms of the number of people that have access to the BI or data warehousing technology, or there's very limited technology, meaning low-end desktop technologies that are provided to workers in this mid-market. There's no other database in this market that compares to VectorWise. It is the only analytical database that runs on Windows, and no other product delivers the amount of innovation that VectorWise does to the market. So there are a number of other databases that run on Windows, and that's what I think people mean when they say that the Windows market is a competitive one. There's no other database in this market that compares to VectorWise. It is the only analytical database that runs on Windows, and no other product delivers the amount of innovation that VectorWise does to the market. So there's really three key differentiators for VectorWise in the Windows market. The first is VectorWise allows companies to answer questions in seconds as opposed to minutes or hours. The second is that companies can introduce and deploy VectorWise in a fraction of the amount of time that it takes to implement a typical BI or data warehouse solution. And the third point, VectorWise allows companies to deploy BI and data warehousing throughout the organization so more people can use it in making key decisions.
VectorWise is different because VectorWise was built to perform analytics really fast. So what VectorWise implements is industry standards that work very well for analytical databases. Traditional row-based databases are written to perform OLTP type applications, online transaction processing. VectorWise was built to perform reporting, data analysis, and analytics. VectorWise implements a number of industry best practices around analytics. For example, VectorWise implements column-based storage. Most queries do not retrieve every single column out of the table, in which case it makes sense to only retrieve those columns that are required to answer the query. VectorWise also implements compression. Compression happens automatically, the user doesn't need to do anything, and compression happens on a column-by-column basis, which is more optimal than the way traditional row-based databases can implement compression. In addition to that, VectorWise also performs parallel execution to speed up query performance, and VectorWise implements storage-based indexes, which can dramatically reduce the amount of data VectorWise will need to retrieve in order to answer queries. VectorWise has extremely high performance for just raw data processing. The result of that is that I don't need to tune specifically for a particular workload because the end users can access detailed data, run any queries they would like, and get very good performance. We support the major business intelligence tools such as MicroStrategy, Business Objects, but we also support the open source world as well. If I experience performance issues with my SQL Server database, move the data out of SQL Server into VectorWise, and then point the application to the VectorWise database. Simply because of those standards, chances are that the application runs perfectly fine against VectorWise, like it did against SQL Server. You get a transparent performance improvement. There's new technology in modern chips that's been introduced in order to keep up with the performance improvements over time. If we look at Moore's Law, performance doubles every 18 to 24 months. In order to keep up with these incredible performance improvements, chip manufacturers have introduced additional capabilities, new features that not all the software takes transparently advantage of. One example is single instruction multiple data. VectorWise takes full advantage of those, and if you look at data analytics is really about performing analytics on large volumes of data. That's where performing SIMD, single instruction multiple data type instructions, makes an awful lot of sense, and that's what VectorWise does as one of the key features. At the end of the day, with the storage indexes, with the parallel execution, the raw data processing performance, There's very little involvement required on an ongoing basis from the DBA in order to maintain fast performance.
VectorWise is much more powerful than a simple Excel spreadsheet. We allow folks to analyze billions of rows of data and they receive the answers back in seconds, whereas another data warehouse or business intelligence solution was probably going to take minutes, hours, maybe even days.
So let me show you how to quickly create an ad hoc report. So I'm pulling in regions, I'm pulling in order dates, and then I'm looking at the sum of all prices across those different dimensions. And again, very quick response time, so let me reduce the data set. All numbers are aggregated on the fly and it's all really fast. And if I'm an executive and I want to discover some patterns in my data, then that is exactly the types of response times that I'm looking for.
What VectorWise allows medium-sized companies to do is really harness the information that comes in every day and make decisions quickly and on a budget that meets their needs as well. Mid-market companies typically do not have expertise internal, and we bring that to bear either directly through our company or with one of our partners. Our economic model takes the question, who should have access to BI, out of the discussion. Our position is that everyone should have access to BI capabilities.
Thank you for listening. For more information on Actian VectorWise, please visit the Actian website, go to the download section, and download your free evaluation copy of VectorWise for Windows.